So some things have been rattling through my brain here of late, and when it comes to why should a grown man play with Nerf blasters instead of airsoft or paintball, and I've always said that airsoft looks too militaristic, looks too real, has an expense to it. Paintball's a little messy to clean up. Both airsoft and paintball hurt a little more than, say, a Nerf blaster, and anyone can play with Nerf blaster. 8 to 80, anyone can play with it, and it's a little cheaper than the other two to take care of, manage, and get other people to play. I'm not going to take an airsoft gun up to a 60-year-old and shoot him with it, and I'm not going to hit spray paintballs all over an 8-year-old. So Nerf just seemed to make more sense. And when I tried to put that into economic sense in terms of money and what it would take to run parties, and I'm going to be running parties for 10, 20, 30 people at once, and that gets really expensive when it's airsoft and people aren't bringing their own stuff. I'm trying to bring the party to some people who they've thought of Nerf past the age of 10 to 12. Now, if I were to run over the cost for, say, something like airsoft, because I'm not going to take paintball into someone's office or someplace near their work. If you look at the expense, and I checked on airsoft, and was reading someone else's work, and it says a solid primary weapon and sidearm will set you back from $150 to $350 when it comes to airsoft. Then you have to have the safety equipment, skirmishing with others, eye protection. Airsoft can shoot 250 feet per second, where most Nerf guns are shooting 60 to 70 feet per second if you don't modify it. So airsoft is shooting 4 times harder. Now those of you airsoft guys are going, yes, that's exactly why I'm using it. They're awesome, but not everyone can use that. You need shatterproof airsoft goggles, running about 15 to 40 bucks, a full airsoft face mask, 20 to 50 bucks, and the premium vest setups are $80 to $150. Now, I'm not above 3D printed stuff for Nerf, but that's just for me. I'll spend a couple $100s for something humans versus zombies. But if I'm going to have 30 people running around, I'm not going to have them do it in $500 gear or $300 or $250, what it might be for airsoft. So then you have tactical vests, holsters, 40, 80, maybe $80 to $150 for the premium vests. To get started, airsoft maybe $200, $300, whereas Nerf, and I'll write it out here for you, Nerf loadout costs, safety glasses, I can buy the box for $1 each for the glasses. A strong arm pistol, which is like a revolver, is about 10 bucks. The NC Star AK-47 vest off Amazon, I've shown that before in one of my previous videos, is about $30. A Rampage primary is about $32, or if you can get a Strife for 25 bucks with the batteries in it, because usually they're 20. And then 6 18-shot mags, they're just over 10 bucks at Target. So all told, you are probably looking at about $118 to $125 before tax for Nerf, and that's just to go nuts with a loadout and have people go to their own Nerf war. Now, it's cheaper. The biggest problem is someone could say, hey, airsoft's a lot better. I aim at something, I'm going to hit it. With paintball, I'm probably going to aim at something and I'm going to hit it. Yeah, that's true. I could stand 30 feet from you with some of the best Nerf guns I have, hold the trigger down, and maybe 1 out of 3 darts hits you. It's just the nature of the beast. But it makes everyone pretty much equal when the darts really aren't super accurate. Now, Koosh will probably hit a lot better than that. Probably only 1 out of 4 or 5 are probably going to miss its target at that range, which is I'm going to be using for some of the better games. Now, if I use dart tag or some stuff like that, we'll be 20 feet away, it won't be an issue. But the real reason I was going to do Nerf is now I've already talked at length about, coming off cancer. There were some things that when I was right before I really knew what was wrong with me, is that when it came to the problems I was having, there were times I didn't think I really wanted to continue living. I didn't know what the problem was with me. I wasn't diagnosed with cancer, not married when you hit around age 40. And I had some serious issues thinking, hey, something's wrong with me. I'm not able to adapt to others. And when I got cancer, it was, oh, screw that. I want to live. And I kind of fought for it. And I was looking for other avenues to meet other people. And for some reason, I stumbled on Nerf. And every time I brought the Nerf guns out or Nerf blasters, everyone started having fun and started, interacting. And it just, people kind of forgot they were playing with kids' toys. It's just the great thing about it. Now, as soon as I started thinking about that, it's like, what if I made a company about this? And that's where it came to be. Now, other people have had the same idea, although much more seriously than I ever thought. There are people who use Nerf to keep them from killing themselves. I actually had already said, hey, I'm going to continue with my life before I even met this. I want to live. I want something fun to do. So this is where I found this documentary. It's called the Thunderdome. it was someone who was having trouble in their life. I'm going to play it for you right now, leave the link below. I want to see what you think of it.
Rob was a man who went to Africa afraid of death and came back from Africa completely terrified of death.
I think I knew it was bad and the fire was starting to come up, and I was just trying to get a seatbelt on for everything I had, because I knew if I could get a seatbelt on, I can grab him, I can pull him. I almost had him, and I couldn't save him. It was that's been a moment that has driven the rest of my life.
He was dealing with his PTSD by basically locking into something that was taking every inch of his attention span and his motivation and pushing it into a digital realm. It was the ultimate form of escapism, the most damaging kind of escapism.
And then Ryan saw all the things that I was going through and was trying to plant some seeds that were like positive rather than modern warfare, and he put a paintbrush in my hand, and that crazy Rob brain got the idea, we're painting now, we're going to be a painter, and I don't know what that means, but we're going to do it. Within 6 months of that, my whole house was covered in just everything. Like, there was murals on every wall. I was just painting. If there was a blank surface, I was going to put something on it.
Eventually, that just wasn't enough. Then we had to claim the yard. This is his rebellion against the rest of the little houses that are all painted exactly the same and are all fenced exactly the same. And here's Thunderdome. Here's just one little speck of bright rebellion where we're saying, no, we're making a carnival and we're going to have 30 guys fighting it.
I look back on my life, and it's been a series of ups and downs, and I wish I could go back and have a conversation with my 22-year-old self and just shake him and be like, there's so much more you can live for. There's a different way to live.
Even as children, like, we all have that dream to like playing with Nerf guns. Like, one of these days I'm gonna make a giant Nerf course, and then it just dies out.
The difference isn't that Nerf is for kids, it's that it's okay for you to be a kid.
What you do right now matters on a Tuesday in Springfield, Missouri. What you do right now matters in Africa is a plane crash, is on fire, and people need to be helped.
We're all a bunch of weird people in our own way as far as society's concerned, and we bond over that a whole lot.
And maybe everyone who comes to Thunderdome, maybe I can change their life in a small way. And I can create the world that I want to create in my own backyard.
So this is the basic video for their documentary. There's another one they have where several other very popular Nerf celebrities or on YouTube have a couple 100,000 followers each, all kind of chipped in to advertise or at least to prove that, hey, yeah, we're all one Nerf nation. It was very awesome to see. And I felt something similar when the reason I'm going to be starting some kind of Thunderdome in my backyard, more or less like a test ground for the business I'll be starting. And the first idea was not for profit. And then I realized I need to make a good, sound business plan. And once I start making money, I can start maybe trying to do some for-profit or not-for-profit stuff. But if you're wondering why not Airsoft, it's because when you see the wacky stuff that guy was doing in his backyard, some of the art that he was using, you can come up with almost any kind of style for Nerf. I've painted some Nerf blasters. You can cut this thing up and it's going to work. Look, all this really is a couple of flywheels, 2 little circles, a motor that'll push it through and the dart shoots out. If you keep that intact, you can do whatever you want with this. You can cut it up, you could put a foam blade on the front of this, you could put little puppy dogs around it. I've seen people with stuffed animals on top. Doesn't matter, it's still going to shoot the same as long as you clear the barrel pathway. Have fun, have your personality come and play, and be a kid when you play with this stuff. And that's why I do it over Airsoft, over paintball. It just makes it more fun and includes everybody. So if anyone out there is ever wondering, why do you mess with this stuff? Connect with other people from 8 to 80 and have fun and be a kid again, or at least be childlike. And that's just what I'm going to be doing with this business in the future. So if you're ever wondering why I'm messing with this stuff, or doing some videos about, buying stuff cheaply, or putting something together with pop tents, that's the reason I do this. So if you have an idea that, why not do paintball or airsoft, this is why. Alright guys,